Okay, here we go again. You might have seen my previous video on this FiiO KA11, or rather, I was complaining about some issues which I encountered with this KA11 to a point that I wasn't able to use it. And fast forward, I would like to express my thanks and gratitude to Red Ape Audio Malaysia for being able to replace my KA11 unit with this one here now. And this is finally the one which is functioning. And in order not to repeat the same mistake, I have opted not to update this KA11 because this one comes with version firmware of 0.06. And the latest one, if I'm not mistaken, the one which caused the failure for my previous unit was 0.08. So I am running now on 0.06. Okay, so running on the stock factory firmware. Now that is resolved, let's just don't waste any time and have a look at this KA11. Price adjusts at around 150 Malaysian ringgit if you are based in Malaysia, which you can buy from Red Ape, or if you are based internationally, you can find this KA11 for 30 US dollar. This is one of the budget offering from FiiO. And so what are the deal with this KA11? In order to make things a bit more, falling into perspective, let's just compare it directly with some of the fierce competition in the market within this price bracket, anywhere from 20 US dollar and above, all the way to 50 US dollar or under 100 US dollar. And to do that, I'd just like to bring you to your attention to this another dongle which I have reviewed recently as well. Another popular name, you can't miss this, which is Hidis SD2. So these two, and comparing it side by side first. So let's just have a look at what I do have observed. And as you can see here, this KA11 comes with this widely popular, very popular CS43131 single deck configuration. And surprisingly, within this small enclosure, which is the size of ultra compact dongle, FiiO managed to squeeze in an op-amp, an amplifier model which is SGM at 262. Super impressive, I would say, in this small form factor. Because if you were to compare with ultra compact dongles, okay, let me see if I can find my ultra compact dongle. See, this KA11 is even shorter and seemingly as compact as ultra compact dongle, which are typically priced under 20 US dollar. Okay, and then when we look at SD2, it comes with another popular DAC chip, which is ESS Sabre ES9270. Okay. However, the first differences, I would say that when it comes to technical and specification itself, this KA11 does offer kind of a bit better when it comes to maximum resolution, capable of supporting up to DSD 256, whereas this SD2 is limited only to DSD 128. So if you need higher resolution than 128, KA11 is the answer. And then, of course, with the rest of the settings, pretty much physically you can see how much different they are, okay? This one with a cable, this one is just direct attached. Very special design from Hidis. And of course, another very big factor to consider is that this one, KA11, does not support microphone, inline microphone. So if you intend to use a microphone with your in-ear monitor or headphone, KA11 will not work. But this SD2 will support high resolution microphone, which I have tested. And then of course, looking at another very, very important factor, perhaps one of the key decisions why you want to have KA11 over SD2 is that the power output. Take a moment, have a look there, digest the information. Okay, this is without a doubt, in this form factor, the most powerful dongle you can expect in the market right now at 200 milliwatt of power per channel at 32 ohm. Okay, let that sink in. That is super powerful. And in contrast, for a dongle of this caliber, okay, you're gonna get just at around 70 milliwatt of power per channel at 32 ohm from this SD2. Looking at the signal to noise ratio, it does appear that this KA11 also appear to be kind of like a bit more silent with the signal to noise ratio rated at 125 dB, while this SD2 rated at 118 dB. But honestly, throughout my testing of these two, even with highly sensitive hybrid IEM under 5 ohm, and with impedance rating as low as, or sensitivity over 120 dB. Both of them are super silent, unless of course you are a dolphin or a whale. When it comes to sounds and performance, you can be rest assured about one definite thing, okay, about this KA11. This thing have a lots of power, tons of power, okay? And I have tested this KA11 extensively with my Sennheiser HD 600 here, running on 3.5 mm single-ended connection, okay? And this thing is 300 ohm, by the way. What kind of power that we are talking about? When attached to my PC, okay, running on this Windows Media Player using PC USB default driver at USB 3.0, I only needed, okay, just brace for this, 28 out of 100. Yes, 28 out of 100. I repeat, that is crazily powerful in order for this to drive this to a listening level which I would perceive as more than enough. If I turn it any louder, above 30, it will actually hurt my ear due to the loudness itself. Okay, so no doubt this thing has loudness, super powerful. In comparison, this SD2 doing the same thing would need at around, let me see, 40 out of 100. So you can clearly see that even SD2 is impressive enough already when attached to my PC running USB 3.0, running FLAC file at 40 out of 100. But then again, you have to remember that is based on my sensitivity and my, the resonance of sonic decibel, which is acceptable to my ear. I would say that, I'm kind of a bit sensitive when it comes to sound. So I needed only that kind of volume. And that is pretty much comparable to even desktop DAC amp, okay? Because that is pretty much the kind of volume which I would expect from desktop setup that you can see in front of me here, okay? So, but then again, let's talk about the sound itself. How does it sound even if it has power? This KA11, one thing I would like to admit is that pretty much, if I were to close my eye, forget that this thing is a dongle, okay, and listen to this HD 600 here at 300 ohm, I would even say that I am super satisfied with the kind of output that I am hearing. The dynamic itself, the way it presents the sound is full of authority, okay? The transient speed, the imaging, the resolution is all pretty much satisfactory. I am not finding myself like longing for anything like my full desktop DAC amp in order to actually enjoy my music. But let's just talk a bit more about the detail, the comparison. With that kind of power, does it exhibit any kind of distortion, any kind of strain, or any kind of shoutiness? And I would just simply say that this thing is super impressive, okay? Despite being cranked louder at around 30, which I mentioned earlier, if I use 30, it will hurt my ear. It does not distort. Okay, so that is super impressive. And the authority of the sound itself is pretty much comparable to top performing dongle. So when it comes to power, again, I repeat, this is the very best in the market right now. Okay, but then again, let's just have a look at some of the other features, I think, which is important for dongle, especially when it comes to portable usage. If I were to connect this to my phone, like this one, Sony Xperia 1 Mark IV, 1 Mark IV, or even let's say some other Android mobile phone or even iPhones, especially the one that use USB Type-C, can I expect the same of power while mobile for this KA11? And my answer is yes. For as long as you use this KA11 with USB exclusive mode, like Hibi Music app or even UAPP Beat Perfect, then you can be rest assured that you're gonna get the same kind of output from this KA11 even when attached to your PC. But then again, just remember this, okay? The same issue which I faced earlier, this KA11 getting warmer, the harder the partner to drive, it is still evident, it is still there. So you can expect that this KA11 will still operate at a temperature which I consider as beyond normal standard, because you don't not gonna get any kind of heat from this SD2 or many other ultra compact dongle, but you're gonna feel the heat coming from this KA11. Okay, just be aware of that. And then that thing aside, when it comes to usage as well, as a portable dongle, And impressively, both of them are super power efficient. And this even more so for this KA11 because this one score 15 hour of runtime running on battery from my phone, another of my phone, which is Xiaomi Mi 90, okay, 4000 mAh of battery at 15 hours. And you want to know what? KA11 also managed to score 15 hours. So I would say that I am pretty much very happy with that because it means that it does not drain my battery too fast. 15 hours is a very respectable runtime for a dongle to drain the power. And then when we talk about the general tuning of this KA11, this is transparent, neutral, uncolored. That's pretty much I am very certain of. It has ample amount of analytical prowess to it, to a point that I would even regard this analytical, especially if you connect it to something which is like this Aone AR5000 here, or even surprisingly, Hi-Fi Man Sundara here because it has power and it also have ample amount of analytical and technical prowess. But I will admit one thing, perhaps depending on the kind of load which it handles, the soundstage may appear not as wide. Perhaps like if I were to compare it with another Cyrus Logic CS43131, which is very popular here, iBasso DC04 Pro. Okay. So the implementation of this iBasso DC04 Pro running the same Cyrus Logic CS43131 is more open and wider sounding. But then again, I would not penalize this because you can see the difference here. This DC04 Pro apparently have a lot more of real estate, a lot more of support inside to make it even more open sounding. And you can see the detail here. For the rest of it, pretty much I have already mentioned, it is linear neutral throughout the entire frequency range, does not add any kind of coloration, and pretty much having said that, it means KA11, where was it? Where did I place it? Okay, KA11, okay, will synergize with pretty much anything, okay, because it is neutral and transparent. What you see here is just a collection of a few dongles, not all of them, obviously. I'd like to clarify that because I have tested in excess of over 175 dongles so far. And obviously, I cannot fit all of them, but I'll try to clarify that these are dongles which are priced under 100 US dollar, which you can find in the market right now. Okay, so clearly you can see there FiiO KA11, which is a direct successor to FiiO KA1, is a much improved performer, a dongle, in all aspect, almost all aspect, okay? Especially when it comes to dynamic sound technicalities. But definitely, when I compare it again with SD2, okay, I think SD2 does perform a bit better when it comes to tone and timbre because this SD2 does sound kind of a bit more organic, richer sounding, okay, when it comes to the tone and timbre and then the richness as well. But when it comes to outright technicalities, this KA11 has the upper hand. And just take a moment to digest this, okay? Have a look at it and compare against the rest of the competition within the same price bracket. This is how it looked like. FiiO KA11 when it comes to sound timbre and sound tuning. It hovers somewhere in the middle there between analog sound to digital hi-fi sound. So what does it mean? It means that this is pretty much something which I would consider as well balanced. And in comparison, I did mention earlier that this SD2 does appear kind of a bit more organic sounding, hence the timbre hovers even closer towards analog sound. But in contrast, you can compare with the rest of the competition there and pretty much get an idea what kind of sound timbre you can expect from this KA11. Everything considered with a price of 30 US dollar, just remember this, okay? This is the most powerful dongle in the market. Let me just stress that out. The most powerful. You can't get anything more powerful than this. Anything under 50 US dollar, okay? Because in order to get more power than this, then you just have to go to something like this right in front of me. Or some other dongles, which is like, Alpha Onyx, or even some other dongle like EPZ-TP50, FiiO KA17, which does offer a bit more of power. But you get the idea, okay? This is such a value because considering that 200 milliwatt of power from single-ended termination, okay, is not an easy thing to achieve. And I would say that this is a miracle which FiiO has managed to construct into this KA11.